Have you ever wondered what the perfect monitor size for you is? Well, I've had this question burning a hole in my wallet for a long time now. The perfect monitor size for you might not be what you expect. Maybe ultra-wides are perfect for you. Maybe a regular sized 27-inch monitor is the best for your applications. Or maybe the perfect monitor for you is a 42-inch LG OLED C2, which is not even a monitor. I've tried almost every monitor size so that you don't have to. I'll go over the main areas of gaming and productivity/working and tell you which monitor size and specifications are best for each use case. If you're a sweaty competitive gamer that plays CSGO, PUBG, Valorant, or even League of Legends, you should stay away from ultra-wide or big monitors. This includes 42 inches, 38 inches, 49 inches, or even 32-inch monitors. You want your monitor size to be no bigger than 27 inches. Now you might be thinking to yourself, isn't seeing more of the screen an advantage when it comes to competitive gaming? And the answer to that is actually no. Let me explain. More of a game means that your focus is expanded rather than narrowed to what is important, which is a disadvantage if you want to react quicker to situations in games. I personally doubled the amount of kills I would get in a CSGO deathmatch when I moved from my 38-inch Alienware to a 27-inch OLED LG. I should mention that the LG is 240Hz and the Alienware was 144Hz. If you're a streamer, you should rule out ultra-wide monitors as well. It is way easier for your users to view your stream when you're streaming from a standard 16:9 or a 27-inch monitor rather than streaming from an ultra-wide monitor, which will make everything look stretched and weird for your viewers. Now, you can do some scaling work to fix this issue, but I would stay away from the extra hassle that it comes with. As for my recommendations for a 27-inch monitor for competitive gamers, I recommend a resolution of 2560 by 1440 and a refresh rate of 240Hz for most competitive gamers. It is very popular for competitive gamers to go to 1080p, but 1440p is a decent upgrade. It provides more detail and it future-proofs your setup more than 1080p does. With current graphics cards and hardware, it's easier to get 240Hz at 1440p nowadays. I definitely don't recommend 4K for competitive gamers, as it's really hard to push past even 100 frames at 4K, even if you have the craziest graphic cards these days. I recommend 240Hz specifically, as it is smoother than 144Hz, but it's not that different to 360Hz if you've ever tried it. If you know that you can run 360Hz at 2K, then spending the extra cash might be worth it. But if not, I do recommend going with a 240Hz monitor. I recommend the Asus ROG OLED PG27QDM and the LG Ultragear 27GR95QE. I currently own the LG Ultragear myself. These two monitors will give you stunning visuals and virtually instant response times, which is really important for gaming because of their OLED technology that they use. The Asus variant of the OLED gets more brighter, but is a little bit more expensive and lacks HDMI 2.1, which might be a deal breaker if you want to connect your PS5 as well. However, the LG is less bright, but has HDMI 2.1 and is a little bit cheaper. Depending on what you want from your monitor, either of them is a great choice. These monitors are both around $900 to $1,000 USD though, so if you don't want to spend $1,000 on a monitor, but you still want the 240Hz 1440p 27-inch experience, there is good news, because the LCD offerings are more affordable than ever in 2023. For around $350 USD, you can pick up the LG 27GR83Q or the MSI 27qpx, which will still give you great performance and value. If you're after the highest refresh rate available right now on a 27-inch monitor, I recommend the Asus PG27AQN. Man, these names are really a mouthful. This monitor will give you a 360Hz refresh rate, which results in a very smooth gameplay and very low response times if you have the hardware to run 360Hz. If you're a casual gamer and you play mostly story-based games, you want to do the opposite and go for the biggest monitor that you can comfortably fit on your desk. The reason for this is that bigger monitors give you more to look at in your games, which creates a more immersive experience and almost makes you feel like you're in the game rather than looking at a small box, which you might feel when using a 27-inch. It's also a bonus if your big monitor is curved as well. It's not a deal breaker if it's not curved, But if you get an ultra-wide, make sure that it's curved so that it wraps around your head and you don't have to move your head left to right all the time. I personally enjoyed playing story games the most on my LG C2 42-inch, followed by my 38-inch Alienware, and 34 inches is also good for story-based games as well. This depends on how big your desk area is and how far away from the monitor you can get. Resolution and panel technology will make a big difference in this category. I recommend going for an OLED or mini LED panel, since these will give you the best HDR experiences. OLED panels' pixels are individually lit, which means that you're going to get deeper blacks and brighter highlights without any haloing effects like IPS, VA, or any LCD panels. Mini LEDs sit between LCD and OLED panels in terms of HDR. It's way better than IPS or VA panels, but it's not as good as OLED. Right now, for the ultimate story-based game experience, I recommend the Alienware AW3423DWF. That's a mouthful. If you can put something bigger on your desk, I do recommend the LG C2. There's also the LG C3, but I don't think that's worth the extra cost. If you want a crazy 49-inch for gaming and you enjoy your horizontal space, I do recommend the Samsung Neo G7 OLED. As for the mini LED recommendations, which are also going to come cheaper than the OLEDs, but still give you a really nice HDR experience, I recommend the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 or Neo G8. As for buying gaming monitors, it doesn't matter in which category, I do recommend that making sure the current hardware you have can support the resolution of the monitor that you're going to buy. You can easily find information on what to expect from your current hardware at each resolution by searching online. If you want a monitor for work and productivity, I also recommend getting the biggest monitor that you can comfortably fit on your desk without needing to move your neck from left to right. Now again, this could be different for everyone. If you have a smaller desk, this could mean that you can only afford to have a 27-inch without needing to move your head. But for some, you might be able to fit a 42-inch and be able to comfortably look at the entire screen because you can get away from the screen itself. I found that a 38-inch ultra-wide gives you the best experience when working with apps like Photoshop or even multitasking while comparing multiple spreadsheets or tabs simultaneously. I say 38 inches is the sweet spot because 34 inches is not big enough to comfortably split the screen into two tabs and have decent detail on both tabs. 34-inch ultra-wides also provide you with less vertical space, which could be a deal breaker for some people. Also, you might not want a 49-inch because it will require you to look left and right to view all the tabs that you have open on your screen. If you don't mind moving your head left to right and you want to keep a lot of tabs open at the same time while working, then you can go for a 49 or even a 57-inch Samsung that just came out. If you still want to keep a regular size 27-inch because you like the normal aspect ratio it gives you and you don't like the gimmicky ultra-wide monitors, then you can go for a 32-inch monitor, which will still give you standard aspect ratios, but give you more working space than the 27-inch. As for resolution when it comes to working and productivity, you generally want to go for the highest resolution that you can find at each size. This is even more important when getting bigger displays. For example, if you get a 32-inch monitor that's 4K and you compare it to a 32-inch that's only 1440p, you will find that the 4K 32-inch will have noticeably more details on the screen. But if you're only getting a 27-inch, then you can skip the 4K part because it won't look dramatically different to a 1440p. Since the screen is smaller, the PPI is much similar. But as the screen gets bigger, you want to go for a higher resolution. I also recommend getting a monitor as close to 100% sRGB color gamut as possible. Since you are working on these monitors, it's important that you see the colors how they're meant to be shown and not a washed up version of them. Higher refresh rates than 60 Hz are welcomed, but they're not a necessity. Resolution and color gamuts and even accessories like a USB hub are much more important than refresh rate when it comes to working. Here are my recommendations for productivity and working monitors for each size. If you want to go for a regular 27-inch monitor, then I recommend the Dell U2723QE. This is a great option. It has a 4K resolution, which is super sharp. It has excellent color accuracy and very good port selection as well. If you want to listen to me and go for a 38-inch ultra-wide, then I recommend the Dell Ultra Sharp U3824DW 4K. It has great color accuracy, a high resolution, and comes with a USB hub, which gives you the option to charge your laptop with the same cable that you're connecting to the monitor with. If you decided to go for a 32-inch monitor, I recommend the Gigabyte M32U. This comes with a 4K resolution, which is suitable and important for 32 inches. It has great color accuracy and even comes with a bonus 144 refresh rate, so if you want to do some casual gaming, you can as well. Lastly, if you like having unusual amount of tabs open simultaneously while working, then there are a lot of 49-inch options available, depending on what you want. But if you're just working on this monitor, then I recommend getting the most affordable 49 inches available. But as they get more expensive, they focus more on gaming features like higher refresh rates, which do not translate much to working. Most of us don't want to be limited to gaming or productivity on our monitors. We want to be able to do everything with it when we feel like it, and we want it to still give us a great experience regardless of what we're doing. In this case, you want to find what you do most with your monitor, find a suitable size for your needs using the guide that I just provided, and find a monitor in that size that has features that are good for both productivity and gaming. The good news is that they do exist in almost every size that I just mentioned. The bad news is that they will likely be more expensive. As a good practice, when you found the monitor that you want, always search the model name on ratings.com, which is a really good and reliable source to check reviews on monitors. Or you can simply search it on YouTube and see what other people have to say about it to find if there's any red flags before making a big purchase. Finding the perfect monitor for you can be complicated. I hope that the guide that I just provided was helpful, but still, if you have more questions, you can leave them in the comment down below, and I promise I will get back to you. If this was helpful in any way, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you.